Hey everyone, it's Naomi again, and I believe today's topic is on reflection of the project for our RU and our progress and like the unexpected challenges. So for me, at least with this RU, I feel like I'm learning a lot. There was a lot of things I couldn't do in terms of research over this semester just because I'm taking like 6 classes, trying to balance that out with like sailing and other extracurricular activities, and I am an RA, so that's part of working, so it was a little bit difficult for me to like balance all the research aspects. However, now that I have like all of summer, like I'm able to actually do like proper research, such as like sitting down and taking the time to like thoroughly read papers, see other types of publications relating to my topic, being able to spend more time coding, and building models and algorithms and things like that. So I really do enjoy having that extra bit of time to like sit down and creatively think of other ways to, look at the project, take a few steps back, try to see the overall picture and think about like, okay, is this the right way to approach this problem? Is there a more simple solution? Am I doing it the complex way? And having that extra time really does help me. And, having these weekly meetings also, ensures that I'm like on track and things like that. Even though I did have weekly meetings over the semester, it did get a little bit crazy because sometimes I do have like an online class or like online exam during those times, so it does get a little bit crazy for me. But for me, my progress so far for the REU is I'm still like trucking along pretty much almost at the same pace. I did start this project last year, May 2020, so it was in quarantine when I started this project, and although I'm still roughly at the same pace, I'm able to like really sit down and think about what I'm doing and like analyze the actual data, like spend more time seeing what I'm working with. Because if you don't sit down and understand your data, you're not going to be really able to come up with like conclusive results or anything like that. So I find that really important. And the biggest thing that I feel like a lot of people don't understand about research is that you spend a lot of time reading. When I did research for Stanford, I was in the gynecology and obstetrics department, and I remember my first month there, I was reading every single day. Like, I remember my mentor, she would not let me run experiments until I read certain papers on like CyTOF, Western blots, on spectroscopy and things like that, because she was like, you need to understand like what you're really doing. It's really good for you to understand other techniques, other ways people have approached this problem, because she said you don't want to do something that someone's already done and it does not work already. And so that's what I've kind of been doing, and honestly I've kind of like backtracked a few steps just to think about like, okay, was that the right way to approach it? Was that the longest way I did it? Is there a shortcut to it? Not necessarily like a shortcut like cutting corners and like creating a model, but it's like, is there a more efficient way of going about certain things? Like I remember when I first built the model, Berezovsky was like, this is pretty lengthy, you can make it a little bit more short, and he did shorten, and I was like, wow, like maybe if I did spend a little bit more time reading up on like algorithms and like probability and things like that, maybe I could have came up with a solution much sooner and things like that. But I feel like the biggest challenge for me really is not necessarily my research, it's actually sitting inside all day, because I am a sailor, so I do spend a lot of time outside, and I need the sunlight, because like I'm in this room by myself most of the time. I mean, Ying is on that other side, but she's also doing a lot of research and things like that, so I don't really see her often to begin with. So it's like, I need this social interaction with other people and things like that. But other than that, I think for me, the other biggest challenge is probably going to be, writing up the paper, because that's always the biggest issue when it comes to research. Even at Stanford, like that was a huge struggle, not taking enough notes. That's very, very important. Like I have a notebook right here that is full of a lot of information. I've dated everything that I've done for this project. I have like note cards in this drawer in here about like notes and old models and things I've done. So I really recommend people, write down everything you're doing, because it will help you write that paper at the end of the day, because it is so painful to write a paper and you forgot how you got to your final results. But other than that, that's like my update, and I'm excited to see everyone else's video. Thanks.